The nightmare is almost at an end. We've trudged through these abysmal Alice Resident Evil movies over the past few years, and it's been painful as fans of the games, and also as fans of, well, quality. So join us as we discuss Resident Evil, the final chapter. Welcome everyone to Screams After Midnight. I am Peter, and joining me, as always, is Tim.
We're so close to the end. We're almost done.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, we got about maybe an hour, or maybe an hour 15, depending on how long this conversation goes, until we're done with these movies.
We just never have to speak of them again.
What are these movies, you might ask? We're talking about the Resident Evil movies, the original batch of 6 movies, mostly directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. And if he didn't direct it, he stink was still over them with writing and producing anyway. This is a horror movie podcast. We get together, we talk about a movie. It's that simple. And over the last 2, maybe 3 years, we've been slowly chipping away at these awful movies. And today we...
Was it like a Patreon thing or something that people got to pick it?
I think there was either a vote or a stream thing that I did where it dictated that we should start the franchise when it started.
All right, well, it's good incentive because see, you two can torture us with by supporting the Patreon or watching your live streams.
This is very true. And then I think it got sped up a little bit once we realized there was going to be a new Resident Evil movie coming out. It was like, oh, okay, that's our end time then. We have to get to the end before then.
We can't just do one a year. We have to...
I mean, that was the rate before that. So, yes. We'll start spoiler free if you care about Resident Evil, the final chapter. I mean, I'll say this for this title. At least I knew this was the right one because, well, one, it was the only one left, and two, at least final chapter's pretty definitive as a title, as opposed to Apocalypse, Retributions, Extinction, Afterlife. I want to say Revelations. I don't think Revelations is one of them though. I'm just saying generic sequel titles now.
I mean, I don't think there was a Bloodlines, but if at some point you told me there was, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, yeah, that seems like it would fit.
No. There's a Failed Destination Bloodlines and there's a Wrong Turn 4 Bloodlines, but no Resident Evil Bloodlines yet.
Yeah. Hellraiser Bloodlines. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Hellraiser. Right. Yeah. That's three franchises with the Bloodlines that we can instantly think of. Funny that. Anyway, what would that even... Tim, what did you think of Resident Evil, the final chapter? I mean, what are we doing here?
I mean, yeah, it's bad. I don't know, what there is to say at this point. Like, I'm glad it's over, but man, oh man, I always... I know these are never going to be good, but I do always try to sit down like with an open mind and be like, okay, maybe this one will be like laughably bad or have some cheesy thing to it. But no, they're always just so painful. Like right away, this just started. I'm just like, I don't like this. I feel like it weirdly like just. It starts off in a weird place because like remember I guess maybe spoilers for the last movie if you care or whatever, but wasn't the final shot of the last movie like they're in Washington DC and it's just panning out and there's just like this gigantic like Lord of the Rings-esque army of like dragons and monsters like all descending on them, and it makes it seem like, oh well, the next one is just going to be this huge battle, right?
What? Are you telling me that the cliffhanger from the previous Resident Evil movie was not actually the setup for what we're going to be doing in the next Resident Evil? Are you saying that? Because I feel like so far, all of them have fulfilled their previous cliffhanger, right? That's totally been a thing this entire time.
Shocking. I mean, you're joking, but I legitimately can't remember if they usually follow up on stuff.
No, I mean, they usually quickly maybe do a hand wave explanation of how they wrapped up that previous thing, and then that's it. Because here's the same thing, right? Because you're right. The end of the last one was like, hey, all of our main characters are standing on top of the White House as an army of zombies, lickers, and for some reason, dragon things are coming towards them. And then this movie starts and it just says, "Oh, we were lured to the White House, but it was a trap, and I guess all the other characters are dead." And now Alice is just on her own in the ruins of Washington D.C., riding her bike away from a dragon.
It just made it seem like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be this big epic, showdown, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, we're starting off and it's like much more quiet, like wasteland where there's no one there, and apparently like there's only 4,000 people left on the earth. I was like, Jesus, this like I mean I guess things have been pretty like decimated over the last couple of movies, but still it just seems kind of crazy that like this is how far we've come with this franchise when again, when you look at the games, it's always such like a more subdued, like there's definitely it's like there have been games that like have expanded and gone to like different places and stuff, but you never really feel like, oh my god, the whole world is ending when you play these games or whatever.
That's been a running thing here throughout all these reviews, is the fact that the Resident Evil games have never been post-apocalyptic at all. It's never been a part of that DNA, and yet for some reason almost all of the movies in this series are in a post-apocalyptic setting. It's really kind of wild. Yeah, was 4,000 a number they actually said? Because I don't think I caught that.
At some point, our beloved it was the Red Queen or whatever, the hologram
Red Queen
computer thing that's back. I'm pretty positive at one point she says there's about like 4,400 something people left in the world, which
I ain't a lot.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, there's definitely lots of like ties to like the other movies and stuff, and like there's some pretty big revelations at the end of this, which I guess if you care about that stuff, like if you're a fan of these movies, maybe when you get to the end your mind's kind of blown. But as I was watching this, I was like, Jesus, who cares? And then sorry, I'll get to you in a second, but just some random thoughts here I'm having. Like, yeah, very quickly, we're just like doing this epic thing. She's fighting more dragons. I don't know what it is with this like fantasy bullshit. Like, again, this is not like Resident Evil to me. And it's also just like, and you know what? It's like I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, because I don't think you need to, when you're adapting something, follow the games exactly. And we're quite excited for the new Resident Evil movie, which seems to be doing its own thing. But at the bare minimum, if you're gonna change stuff and do different things, you have to like be good at it. Like I feel like at least try to adhere to like the feeling, the vibes of what you like in the games and stuff. And there's just nothing like that at all. And then and even if I could set that aside and be like, let me just imagine that this isn't tied to a property that I, love and have lots of fondness for. Let me just look at its own merit and, see if I like it. And it's like, well, no, it's still like awful. Like I find it unpleasant to watch. Like it's like, I don't know, the it's like edited so fast and the camera's so shaky. I'm just like unsettled watching it. Like I'm not saying that it's like making me nauseous or anything, like maybe emotionally so, but like I don't know, like it's just like the act of looking at it is annoying to me. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was good when I was watching it. Like, I was like, all right, I know I don't like this, but I do have to pay attention because we're doing it for the show. So like I'm not looking at my phone and stuff, but man, it is so hard to like not just have your mind wander. And like and I feel like that's saying something, because like, oh yeah, like I'm having trouble paying attention, but it's not like I'm looking at my phone or reading something while I'm doing this. Like I'm looking at the screen, but it's just washing over me because I just don't like it. And there'd be times where like I would have to rewind a little bit because I'm like, wait, like what just happened? Like why is she like all of a sudden with a group of people now? Like did I miss something here? I don't know, it sucks. I mean it's par for the, I guess, I don't know if this is a compliment, but I guess the series has been pretty consistent. It's just that it's like consistently bad. Like So I don't know if you like consistency. Maybe this is the franchise for you.
The act of watching it upsets me. That's what put that in the box. Okay, somehow they did it. Somehow they lowered the bar. Okay, because I actually think this is legitimately the worst of the 6, and it's not to say that there was much good about any of the other 5, for the record, but this one is just so. Like, all of the worst elements are just turned up to 11, except for maybe the ultra slow-mos maybe calmed down a little bit, but like the script, the way that it just kind of like goes through these different set pieces like one after the other, it just has no time to breathe. There's no time to grow any characters. Every character that's added to this one is just nothing but meat waiting to be killed, and any pretense that we're actually going to get to know them or learn their name or anything like that is just an absolute farce. You're not going to care about a goddamn one of them.
I think at one time, she like yells out a character's name. She's like Razor. I was like, oh, that guy's name is Razor. I guess I would have never known that.
And it's just, yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's ugly as shit. It's everything's just brown and deserty, no matter where they are, and it's just full of nonsensical things, and some of the characters that are back from previous movies feel very random. It's like, okay, we could get this person and this person back, so that's why Claire's suddenly back after missing a movie. That's why the villain from the 3rd movie is now the main villain of the 6th movie, like he was always the most important villain, even though no one ever felt that. He's not even from the games, which doesn't really mean anything for this franchise at this point, but it's worth noting all the same. The revelations you mentioned towards the end are absolutely laughable. I'll say that. This movie has her say, "My name is Alice," both at the start and the end. In fact, I'll just say it right now. I don't think it's a spoiler to say the last line of this movie, the last line of this entire saga is "My name is Alice," cut to, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. It's almost a self-parody by the time we get to the end of this piece of shit. It's absolutely vapid, and it's just, here's a bunch of characters standing in front of a CG backdrop. Here's a bunch of characters dealing with a CG object. Is that big tank thing? Is it a big fan? Is it a big this? Is it a big that? It's just lots of CG over and over again. And it's ugly as shit. So yeah, it is a pain to look at. It's a pain to look at both from an editing perspective. It's a pain to look at from a color palette perspective. And on top of all that, do we care about them trying to like worship it, so like, you know, basically sniffing its own bumhole with being like, oh, we're going back to where it all started. Remember the hive? We're going to do the hive again. It's like, piss off. I hate you.
Again, maybe like I'm just mixing things up, but I'm like, haven't we already kind of gone back there? Like, it doesn't feel like
no,
that not, big a thing.
No, we've not went back there. We've been in like a similar lab area, and we've definitely done the laser hallway at least an extra time since then.
Sure.
So that's probably what you're thinking about, but it's just kind of wild. And it's funny because the entire last movie was all about the weird nostalgia for the earlier entries, because the last one had a bunch of dead characters popping up and a bunch of references to the previous movies. We already had the Red Queen back in the last one. Red Queen's back again with yet a different actress, because obviously a child actor grows up too quick to still be playing the same age of a hologram. So once again, we're here, and and it's just like, we're trying to save the world. Yeah, all 4,000 people of it. Yeah, there's like nothing left to save at this point. Who gives a flying shit? Put us all out of our misery at this point.
I like what you said when there's like no room to breathe, because it is like moving so fast, but it's annoying because it is still like tedious. Like, it's like, all right, I mean, the gears are moving, we're going places, we're meeting people and blah blah blah, but it never feels like, you know, we're progressing in a satisfying way or whatever. It just feels like it's like ADHD or something. We're just like,
this thing happens. No, this thing happens. No, this thing happens. No, this thing happens. No, this thing happens. That's what the movie is. It's just that.
And it's always just like set up for Alice to do something badass. And again, like I don't know, I do find these movies like hard to follow. Like not like the plots are like complicated, but again, it's just like I just find myself caring so little that it gets to a point where it's like I'm kind of confused because it's hard for me to kind of keep track of stuff. Like at one point the bad guy is like saying like, oh, like remember like when Wesker tricked you that you had your powers back but then you didn't or whatever. So I'm like, and I feel like this is a problem I've had with the other ones where I'm like, wait, so does she have powers or not? Because she's doing things that like I feel like a normal person wouldn't be able to do. But I don't know. It confuses me. It vexes me.
I'm so sorry, Tim. Well, I mean, I guess what they're saying with that is that at the end of the last one, Wesker said, "You've got your powers back now. Help me defend the White House." But apparently, that was a trap by Wesker to just get them all killed. So maybe they're just retconning it to say, "Oh, that was just a lie. She doesn't really have her powers back." Because to be fair, we never see her use telekinesis in this one because she definitely had that in the third movie.
Oh yeah, I guess she doesn't have that power, but she's still like, able to do like all these crazy backflips and all this stuff,
She's still doing this thing where she's like, I say still, I mean, I assume she was doing this before, but this is the first movie where you see it in this way, where she's like predicting a bunch of like scenarios in front of her, and like we're seeing like all the possibilities she's running through in her head. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess this is a thing that. Well, I don't know why if you've got the T virus in you and you're like a superhuman, you're looking at things with Terminator vision and you're seeing like files be accessed. I'm like, okay, whatever. Who cares at this point? I do not give a shit. Yeah. Also, there's a creature. The only new creature aside from I guess the dragon thing, if you want to count that at the start, is there's one in the middle or sort of 2/3 of the movie. There's a creature that shows up. Sort of bony, big, kind of gorilla size, but kind of a bony, spiny looking thing. And I was like, is this some shitty new thing or is what? So I got curious. I looked it up. This is a Bloodshot, and it is not a movie original. It's from Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, that's funny because, like I was saying before, how this shares very little similarities or feels like it captures anything from the games or whatever. But like, I guess to be fair, if there is any game that it does feel like it's trying to capture the spirit of, it would be like Resident Evil 6, which is the absolute worst one.
Oh yeah, everyone hates 6, except some masochists who for some reason like it. But yeah, it's dreadful. So it's just so weird though, because there's so many enemies from so many of the games, even just the first 3 games, even never mind bringing in like 4 or 5, Code Veronica or whatnot. They're never even touched, and yet they went to the Bloodshot from Resident Evil 6, which I didn't even recognize. So, power to you, I guess. But yeah, I mean, honestly, let's just do a spoiler warning here. Spoilers for Resident Evil, the final chapter. You've been warned. We're going to go through what I can recall of the events of this movie. So, yeah, there's a motorbike bit at the start where she's driving from a dragon. Well, actually, I suppose first of all, there's like a weird, there's the whole "my name is Alice" thing. I mean, although she says that at the end of the speech, because before that, it's kind of like a recap, just showing like the virus outbreak start outside with this like a ski lift and everyone in it getting zombified, and also the fact that the Red Queen is based on the daughter of Marcus, which we knew, but okay. The second movie in the franchise, right? Resident Evil Apocalypse. Jared Harris played a scientist, and he had a daughter, and he told everyone to go find her in Raccoon City, right? That was the plot of that movie.
Right. Yeah.
That little girl was supposed to be what the Red Queen was based on. Does that not completely contradict that this movie says that this other head researcher, his daughter was dying, so he built the Red Queen out of her, but then the T-virus saved her life, but with a side effect that she would age rapidly, so she'd be like a 90-year-old by the time she's 25.
Wait, no. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought the idea was that she had this disease that made her age rapidly, and then the cure was the T-virus.
No. The T-virus cured her because she would just be dead. She was dying. So the T-virus cured her of death.
I really thought it was they. No, because she had this disease already where she was aging. That was the disease that the T-virus was curing.
Okay, just to skip ahead here, Tim. She shows up at the end of the movie looking 90, Tim. Right? Yeah. She's still aging too quick. So what are you talking about?
Well, because at that point, well, I don't know. I can't explain it.
Of course you can't. No, so the side effect is she ages too quick from the T-virus, right?
I think she had that before, but
just okay. Maybe she did. I don't know. But the point is though is that she's still aging quick afterwards, because that's the whole twist at the end. Is that this is Alicia. And Alice is a clone of Alicia. We'll get to that, everyone. Which, by the way, technically means that the Red Queen, are you ready for this?
Also,
has always been Alice.
Yes. As I forget which character says it, but he refers to them as the Trinity of bitches, which I did kind of chuckle at that.
Oh, the absolute. Anyway, I didn't realize you were
mind blowing. I'm sure for some people, but
oh yeah, I didn't realize you were going to fight me on. I was trying to move past that. I wasn't even interested in this part. I was trying to talk about how Dr. Isaacs murders her father, because her father's like, oh no, this is going to age people too quick and spread. I have to shut down this program. And Isaac's like, no, we can do things with this, and strangles him.
I mean, it's very possible I'm wrong, but I just, again, I'm not going to be going back to double check.
Neither am I, to be fair. I'm just going to assume I'm right and move on with my life.
Yeah, so I forgot about that opening part. Yeah, that is very dumb. If I'm going to give maybe like a little modicum of credit to the movie, that scene where they're in the ski lift or whatever
gondola, whatever you want to call it.
I did kind of think to myself, that is kind of a cool idea for like a horror scene, like being stuck in a very slow moving thing with someone turning into a monster or a zombie or whatever. And then how do you kind of avoid it or hide from it, or whatever you can do in that tight limited space. I was like, that is a good idea for a scene in a horror movie. Obviously they don't show you anything. They just cut to like the little bit of aftermath when it is up at the top or whatever. But that was like maybe one thing in the movie where I was like, I kind of like that idea. Wish I would see it in a different movie by a different director.
Yeah, that motorbike thing with dragon. Motorbike blows up with dragon or something. Who cares? I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah. Was she in a car at first? Because then when she tries to get on the bike, it like electrocutes her and she passes out.
Oh, you're right. It's a random like military jeep or something. She's like quickly grabbed, and then that blows up with the dragon. You're right. The bike comes later. You're right. Yeah. There is like a extra part here after the dragon where she's wandering through a building and a big muscly zombie kind of attacks her, and that goes on for like a few minutes. And I have also nothing to say about this. There's like nothing of interest to say about any of this action.
Yeah, like I always get a bit more excited when they cut to actual zombies, because I'm like, I don't want to see any. I'm not against like fantasy stuff, like they're like movies can be cool with dragons or whatever, but I don't want to see it in Resident Evil. So whenever they're fighting these weird fantasy creatures in a post-apocalyptic background, I'm just like so checked out. So whenever they do get back to like just plain old zombies, I do get a bit more excited, but then I'm just quickly turned off by the way it's filmed, because it just always looks like shit, and it's just like so herky jerky and like fast moving that there's like no like tension or anything to it. It's just like trying to do this like dumb like action that the director probably thinks is like so cool and looks so awesome, but to me it just looks like crap.
I mean, it's just action for action's sake, because we've had the dragon thing, we've had the muscly zombie thing, and then she just runs into some like umbrella soldiers who get her in a trap. She's upside down, but she's still able to kill them all, even though she's tied upside down. because Alice is that cool, everyone. But then she tries to take their bike, and that electrocutes her because I guess it's got like a fingerprint scanner or biometric whatever on the handles. So she wakes up all of a sudden, right? The movie just shifts completely. She wakes up and she's inside a moving vehicle with other people who are trapped there. And all of a sudden, Dr. Isaacs, the villain from the third movie, just kind of walks in monologuing and looking evil. And when we get an exterior shot, it's this tank-like armored vehicle that's just mowing down the road kind of thing.
Sorry, real quick to back up, because maybe I'm getting my order wrong, but we already have the scene where, you know, she meets up with the Red Queen computer and gets her mission and her watch and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, meets up's a weird way of phrasing it, but yeah, she stumbles onto a computer device and the Red Queen pops up and is like, Alice, we have to save the world. And of course Alice is like, what? Why would I trust you? She's like, because my number one directive is to like not harm humanity, but I'm not allowed to harm apparently, but I'm not allowed to harm anyone who's an employee of Umbrella. And I'm like, that's very RoboCop, which by the way, I'll be saying that again later when there's a payoff to this. I can't harm anyone who works for Umbrella, and it's dealt with the exact same way it's dealt with in RoboCop, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, basically, like, Umbrella's forces are about to kill the last settlements of humans on Earth. There's an antivirus which can spread through the air and like kill all the zombies and anything with a T-virus in it, including presumably Alice herself, because she has T-virus in her. And it's like, but this vial of antivirus is in the hive under Raccoon City, so you've got to go there. So yes, you're right. I completely forgot that important pivotal scene. How could I do that?
I should also conveniently download 48-hour timer onto your watch. In case just to add that extra tension whenever she looks at her watch. Just like, oh man, I got some time.
Yeah, little countdown timer. It's I don't know, because the movie just moves from one thing to the other, and I like the whole thing here with like they put her at the back of this tank thing and they tie her to it, so she has to sort of run behind it, but like they're intentionally kind of attracting zombies behind them, so there's this army of zombies chasing the tank, and she's kind of like dangling behind, like trying to keep up pace so she's not getting grabbed by them. But eventually she's able to do like a head scissors thing on one of the guards, and we get like a big fight in the top, and apparently Dr. Isaacs is actually a pretty like trained fighter because he's doing a lot of fancy knife moves and stuff. Yeah. And all of this just ends up leading to this idea that she gets onto the bike that's stuck to the side of the thing, and he's like, it won't work for you. It's of no use to you. So she just like quickly cuts off his hand and uses his severed hand to like get the bike turned on, and then she just sort of makes her escape there. And that's it. And honestly, at this point, we're like almost 30 minutes out of the movie, and I cannot express just how difficult it was to pay attention to all this stuff. It's so mind-numbingly dull.
Yeah, I think I messaged you because I was like, oh, I'm probably like a decent amount in, right? Like, yeah, I like there's probably, 30, 45 minutes left to go. And then I looked at like, the runtime, and I'm like, oh, I'm only 30 minutes in, my God.
Yes, meaning you had like 65 minutes left to go at least.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then there was like a funny line where he was like, oh, like I've been having to deal with a few Alice clones, and then he has like a little slide drawer of like all these decapitated Alice heads, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that those clones were a thing.
Yeah, also that's how they explain why he's back, by the way, because she's like, I killed you, and then she just sort of pauses and goes, a clone of you. I bet I killed a clone of you. I'm like, oh, there you go. That's that dealt with.
Man, this script is airtight.
Yeah, I feel suffocated by it. You're right.
Yeah, I again, like, I have purged most of my memories of these movies. So like, I knew this guy was from the other movies, but like, I couldn't have told you anything about him. So like, I feel like they're trying to have these moments where they want the audience to be like, oh man, he's back, and I'm just like, I just don't care about any of
No.
this. Also, like, what the hell are the bad guys doing here? Like, I guess their plan is basically destroy the world and they can like rebuild it, but it's like I don't know. It's just like it's just one of those like
It's actually very similar to some Fallout lore, actually, which is all the rich people. Because we find out later that all the rich people are in cryosleep in the hive. And the idea is that they're wiping out the planet. As we get a flashback with Dr. Isaacs at one point explaining to the board of directors, oh, the end of the world's coming for sure, but if we destroy it first ourselves, and then we just sort of take over all the infrastructure that will still be left over, we can rule everything, and we'll be the start of the new generation, just us and all of our families, and that's kind of the idea.
I understand the concept, and yes, like rich people are very dumb, and I'm sure probably like have plans like this, but like when you look outside the window, it's like, oh, what do they think they're gonna take over? Like they want like to rule and have like cushy lives like they did before, and it's like the world's destroyed. There's nothing like, and then like what about all the menial tasks and like manual labor and stuff to get things like rebuilt and back together? Like you're not going to do that. And as we've seen, there's only like a couple of thousand people left, and I'm sure they're not going to be very happy with you. So like I don't know, it's
well, if the plan all goes to plan, there won't be a couple of thousand people left. They're planning on killing them first before they wake up.
So then like how many are actually like in there? Is it just like I don't know, like 10 or 12 people?
Oh, well, it's definitely more than that, because we see them standing in the big circular room, and there's cryopods all around, like every level of it.
Oh, okay.
So there's at least hundreds, Tim, if not maybe thousands.
Okay, but I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be able to pull it off.
My only assumption, Tim, is that they've got an army of robots ready to go, and that's how they're going to pull it off. But I mean, we don't see any evidence of that. I'm just assuming they've got some robots to help with the transition period. Very strange. So anyway, she gets to the Raccoon City. I thought it was going to take longer than that, but she gets there quite quickly on the bike. And there's a big crater, all the rest of it. And very quickly, she gets kind of knocked out and nabbed by a group. And she wakes up, and they're all like, we should kill her. She's an outsider. Who knows? She may be dangerous. And Alice fights back a little bit. And then the big reveal is that Claire is with this group. And Claire, once she sees Alice, she tells everyone to stand down, except one loudmouth. Honestly, there's two characters of this new group that's introduced, other than Claire, that are memorable at all. And one's only because it's Ruby Rose, because I know her from other things. And this guy who's very like aggressive and like, no, we should just kill her. We can't trust her. Like, he's the only one, and not memorable in a good way. He's shit, but like he's the only one that sticks out because he's actually saying something. Because like we spend maybe 60 seconds with this group before we're already on to the plan that they're doing in the next scene. It's so lightning quick, which is basically just, we're going to prepare for these tanks coming in with the army of zombies. If we got like anything to defend this tower against them, it's like, yeah, we've got like a launcher that can launch barrels that will blow up at them. Okay.
Yeah, it just moves so quick, and then, like you were saying before, you just know that like none of these characters are going to be important. Like none of them are going to, like make it through or have any kind of like significance. Like it's always the Alice show. Like they're just there to, I guess, get her to her next destination or whatever. So like, I don't know, it just makes it feel very like empty, because you're like, well, I know I'm not going to get any like good characterization out of any of these people, or like I'm not going to fall in love with them and be like, oh, like my new favorite character or whatever. Like they're just so expendable.
No, I mean, honestly, Paul W.S. Anderson's biggest failure as a writer and director might be just how terrible he is with characters, because he just does not make good characters. He doesn't have any good characters in any of his movies. The only one you could maybe say that there is maybe Mortal Kombat, but that's, not his characters. That's, characters from the games by and large. So, very, very weak stuff.
And even that, like, I wouldn't say that that's like amazing. Like it's fun in a cheesy way, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole thing here where Dr. Isaacs has like a human that he releases to run towards the tower, and basically uses her as bait, so they'll open their drawbridge, which they have a drawbridge, and he just shoots this woman in the back when she gets really close, and they launch a bunch of missiles at the building. Alice sets the building on fire. It's honestly, again, all of the action in this, it takes up so much time and just goes on and on. I have nothing to say about any of it. It's just like there's not any moment of it that is riveting or even mildly engaging, because there's no stakes to anything. It's just after scene, here's another action set piece where we're going to do at least a couple of slow motion shots at the end of Alice looking cool, doing something, whether it's setting something on fire or whatever. In fact, the end of this section is her rappelling down the burning building. She gets onto the tank thing that Dr. Isaacs is in, and she drops in like a bunch of gasoline and then lights it on fire. And we see like a bunch of smoke and fire come out the sides of it. Although somehow him and all of these like employees in there are all alive still. I thought that wasn't a very effective firebomb, given that they're all seemingly okay. A bit of soot in their face perhaps, but that's about it. So I thought that was very, very strange. Also, we didn't mention this, but Dr. Isaacs, we mentioned that his hand cut off, but he got like this sort of suction thing put over it after his hand got cut off. So he's walking around with like a sort of stump. But he's still very vicious, though. He's killing his employees left and right as soon as they don't agree with him. They kind of really set that up throughout, where he keeps stabbing people. So,
I find it very hard to believe that, like, I don't know, at this point there would be, that many people that would still be loyal to Umbrella and working with them. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming they probably got some kind of deal where it's like, oh yeah, once we rebuild the world or whatever, like we'll take care of you. But I mean, at the same time, like once you just start like looking around, you're like what world? Like there's no world left. Like why am I following these people?
They've all been promised like countries. Like, okay, so this is Jeff here, the driver of the tank. He's going to be the king of France because he still worked for Umbrella, even through all the apocalypse. Like something to do with that. I don't know. So. Yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that every so often we've been cutting to Wesker, who's in the hive, and he doesn't, obviously, the Red Queen secretly wants to stop Umbrella now, because that's a plot of this movie, and he's like, oh, I'm going to run the security myself manually, because the last time Alice was in the hive 10 years ago, they're saying it's been 10 years since the first movie, you let her go, so I'm going to do it. It's like, okay, fine. But here's the thing. There are numerous points as the group that have now survived, right? Alice and the Claire and the group of people who are going to die one by one, let's face it. As they're making their way in, he says, release the Cerebus, and like an army of zombie dogs come out and attack them, and it's really CG, they look like shit, it's not a good sequence. A lot of CG smoke in this scene as well, so everything's very, very ugly. But towards the end of this fight, where they're running away from the dogs and they're making their way towards this entrance to the hive that's there in the crater, Wesker just confidently says to the computer, lock down the hive, as in shut the door. So we see this big, thick, all like probably 20 feet long, thick, wide door. All the gears start moving and it starts closing. And they do a whole thing here where Alice almost gets stuck in between the two sides, and because the zombies grabbing her, whatever. But all I could think during this entire sequence is, why did you wait until they were almost at the door before you decided to close it? Was there any reason why this door was sitting open when you knew they were going to be on their way here? Like, why didn't you just shut this door 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago? Like, you could have shut this at any time, and there's no reason why it needed to be open. And if the reason is, well, that's how the zombie dogs get let out, I'm like, well, if you just had the door shut, would there have been any way for them to get through? This thing is like thicker than any vault door I've ever seen. Yeah. They're not going to fight their way through it. So why is the door open?
Don't. That's a very good question.
It's incompetence. And then the next thing is they climb through this big ventilation system, which is these big fans, right? And they get through the fans, And they do a whole thing here where Ruby Rose gets caught and Alice goes back in to save her and pushes her out and everything's fine. But Wesker's watching this on the cameras and he's like, reverse the polarity of the fans, which isn't... It's not... Well, see, this is the thing. Is that you can actually do this with fans. Some fans are designed to be switched from intake to out... intake to... What's the word I'm looking for? Exhaust. That's the word I'm looking for. Intake to exhaust, right? Some fans can do that. Sometimes they only do one way or the other, but some fans can switch. So he switches the fans. The way he phrases it sounds stupid because it sounds like he's on Star Trek, right? Once you start talking about reversing the polarity. But yes, you can switch the direction the fans are blowing in, right? Okay, fair enough. And we get a whole sequence where the fans start sucking them in and they're all trying to run away and they're holding on to stuff. It's almost like a scene in a spaceship where there's like a hole in the ship and they're all getting sucked out into space. It's that kind of thing where they're all holding on. And they do a bit of tension. Ruby Rose eventually goes flying into the fans and splats into a pool of blood when she hits it. And it's like, okay, that's fine. All right. And then for some reason, the fans stop. Wesker seems satisfied that he's killed one of them. And all I could think was, why are you stopping them? Why? What? It was effective there. Why wouldn't you just keep the fans spinning and maybe get a few more of them? Maybe some of them might get away, but you might grab a few more. It'll be very difficult for them to get away if you keep them on. But no, they just stop spinning and everyone just starts walking casually to their next random trap, which we'll get to.
Yeah, it's like so many things in this movie that it feels like no one gave a second thought to. It's just like, oh, well, the fans are stopping now because they have to get to the next part. But it's like, yeah, logically, this person wants them dead and he has a pretty good way to kill them. Why is he not just continuing to do that? Like, that's I feel like there's a lot of stuff you can say that about in this movie where it's just like, did anyone read the script and not say like, hey, wait a second, like, I know sometimes in a movie you might have to suspend your disbelief for a little bit, but there's just like no logic for anything in these movies.
No, one draft Anderson, that's what he is. There's one draft and that's it. Maybe the WS stands for wonky script. I don't know. But yeah, they go through some like shafts after this that all light up, and like one opens up and like the one red shirt like falls through, and like there's a whole thing where it gets to the bottom of this shaft that he's falling through because it's basically like a trap door. And when he gets to the bottom, there's another sort of trap door, and there's these little like beeping locks that go beep beep beep, and then one side opens and he dangles out of it, and like below there's like a cave and like it's like, it's like 100-foot fall to some craggy rocks and like a little pool of water, and he's trying to hold on. And then the weird thing is though is that he, only one side of this door opens, and then it starts beeping again, and when it's done beeping again it starts lifting back up, and it basically closes on and cuts his fingers off, and that's what makes him fall to his death. And all I could think was, unless Wesker is still watching, because we don't see it at this point, but if Wesker's still watching and manually pressing buttons to do this, then fair enough, he's just playing with them and this is how he's killing this guy. But I couldn't understand why the door was opening and closing again like this. It just felt random to me. Like, is this supposed to be a trap? Is it a garbage chute? And it's like saying, okay, well, we felt something hit the door, so we're going to open it so that the garbage can fall out, and then it'll automatically shut again afterwards. I mean, maybe that's the reason.
Again, I do not know what to tell you.
I don't know either. And then all of them, like, they're in the same spot, and then all of this like sort of like tunnel shaft they're in, all of the sides all just sort of flip, so they all get separated and they all fall into different places. Alice ends up with one other red shirt who dies quite quickly to the bloodshot that we brought up earlier. So Alice fights the bloodshot. Alice wins, lol. And that's that sequence. Not much to say there. And also worth mentioning that throughout all of this, there's been this thing where, Umbrella's got a mole in this group, right? Umbrella's got a mole. Right. And there's even a point when they're going in and the Red Queen talks to Alice and she's like, hey, Umbrella had an operative and there's a good chance that operative's on your team. So be wary, Alice, be wary. So, and it was around here where I started to think about the fact that we're in the Hive again, and I've not recognized any of the locations we've been in. And if you're going to go back to something like the Hive, surely one of the things you would do is like revisit a lot of the memorable locations. And it became clear at a certain point, I'm like, okay, They're not going to care about any continuity here. They're not going to show us any locations except one. They're going to eventually do the laser hallway because it's the only memorable thing from that movie is the laser hallway. And they've already done it again. They did it in the last movie. But it doesn't matter. They're going to do it again because they can't resist. So we're going to do that. But that doesn't come until really, really near the end. So
yeah, I mean, if there is any legacy to these movies, it's probably like that laser hallway and, you know, the first movie when she says, like, you're all going to die down there. Like, I feel like that's a line that's still...
Which they say that again. We get... Yeah. Except this time she says it to the Umbrella people. She's like, oh, all the Umbrella operatives are going to die down here.
Yeah. But, I mean, I again, not really trying to give the movie credit, but it's like, out of 6 movies, that's like really the only 2 things like anyone is ever going to remember from this franchise. I know it's pathetic.
That and of course My Name is Alice.
Oh yeah. Like if I go out, you know, downtown or something, I usually see at least 2 or 3 people wearing My Name is Alice t-shirts, or you know, if you go to like cons and stuff, there's always at least a couple of people dressed up as Alice, or, you know, doing some type of My Name is Alice parody show. I don't know what I'm talking about. This whole movie, I had to split up in 2 viewings because it was so boring, and I was watching it late last night. But I watched like the second half this morning, and so it's not too far ago that I watch it, but it is all just such a blur to me because it's just like, yeah, just moving from one place to the next. Like the action and the set pieces are all so forgettable. Like as you're talking about them, I'm like, oh yeah, right, that did happen, huh? But it's just like, it's just not exciting when you're watching it.
Yeah, I watched it all in one go because I left it too late to split it up. I had to just endure. I had to endure Master Wayne. So another thing to set up, actually, right in that brief moment when she first met up with the group and we found out Claire was there, and before the whole siege on the city thing happened, is there's like one little moment that shows that Claire's actually having a relationship with this one other guy named Doc. And would you believe it, Doc turns out to be the mole. He turns out to be the Umbrella operative, which is revealed a little bit later, but like he ends up like meeting up with Alice when they're wandering around, and he sticks with her. So that's that set up. They see all the cryopods, they're going down further into the hive. Also, somewhere in the middle of all this, the real Dr. Isaacs got woke up from cryosleep. So he comes out of cryosleep, he's the real deal. He's enhanced with a T-virus, and he's waiting for Alice. So the big thing to get to here is that when they find the room with Dr. Isaacs and Wesker, Dr. Isaacs monologues a little bit, tells them to put their weapons down. He's got the antidote on them, the antivirus, but you know he'll destroy it if they don't put their weapons away, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, here, the big thing that comes out is what we've alluded to already, is that the Red Queen is the girl Alicia, right? Who the Red Queen was based on, even though the second movie kind of implied it was the Ashford daughter, but let's ignore that for now. And the original Alicia did stay alive, but is now looks like a 90-year-old, despite the fact that she's maybe not actually that old. So, and it's, you guessed it, it's Milla Jovovich in old age makeup comes wheeling into the scene. And she is pretty anti-Umbrella, it turns out, and she owns half the company. And remember when I said the whole remember, because it's male spoilers for RoboCop, I guess, but there's a whole bit in RoboCop where RoboCop can't harm anyone who works for OCP because it's been programmed into his system. And the boss just like fires the bad guy, and he's like, thank you, and then he's able to shoot him. That basically happens here.
Great scene.
Yeah, where Alicia just says, hey, Wesker, you're fired. And then immediately the Red Queen's able to use like the door to like crush his foot off or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, I guess that's that dealt with. But yes, the big reveal is that Alice has always been a clone. She like didn't have a life. The reason why she has amnesia from the first movie and never remembered anything from before that is because she didn't exist. even though there was definitely memories in that first movie of her having the fake husband for a while, so she had to exist for at least a little bit of time before she woke up in the first movie. But that's what they're saying, is that she's always been a clone. I think the bit that got me though is that every time they bring up that this antivirus is going to kill everything with the T virus, Claire always says, "Oh no, we can't. There must be some other way. We can't kill Alice." And I'm like, I get that you wouldn't want to actively kill her, but like, you think that saving the certain deaths of like every other remaining human on Earth is not worth the life of one person who is an adult who has already said she's willing to do it? That's very, I don't know, it's just strange how adamant she is. No, you can't do it, Alice. We can't lose you. You're the main character. That would be super bad.
Well, I mean, that's what we've been like finding out. Like, this whole series has been just like, isn't Alice great? Doesn't everyone love Alice? Like, so, and if it was any other person, yeah, they wouldn't even blink an eye. But because it's Alice, they're like, oh no, our favorite person. How can we go on without her?
Yeah, Claire shoots her betrayer boyfriend, right? Shoots him in the head because he's a mole. Fine, whatever. There's some running around and whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point is that Alice takes on Dr. Isaacs in a fight, and they end up fighting in the laser hallway, and he starts like sending the lasers after her. And she does a lot of the fancy dodges that we already saw in the first movie, although conveniently it never does the grid, which would obviously get her, but it just never does it. And the lasers end up coming at them when they're fighting each other, so they're kind of dodging that whilst also fighting each other. Eventually Isaacs like holds her hand in a place where the laser cuts off some of her fingers, and it's like, oh damn, a lot of fingers getting cut off this movie. But Alice has planted a grenade in his pocket, which completely blows out the side of his stomach, and he collapses and finally has lost. Even though he reboots afterwards, like the Terminator. It's like, oh, system rebooting, and he gets back up. So I'm like, how human is this guy at this point? I mean, really? Like, come on now. What are we doing here? And the big reveal here is that when they get to the surface, the clone of Dr. Isaacs, who had his hand cut off earlier by Alice, has been like getting chased by zombies intentionally because he wants to lure zombies to where Alice is. So he stumbles into the real Dr. Isaacs, who's got a gun pointed at Alice, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm you, you idiot. I'm the real you. And of course, this clone's been stab happy all movie, so he hasn't like been told that he's not the real one, so he just stabs the real Dr. Isaacs repeatedly. And then, yeah, Alice throws down the antivirus, and I'm like, wait, how quickly is this going to spread around the world? Like, it's like one little vial. Yeah. And to be fair, at the end, she says in the narration it'll take years for it to reach the entire planet. But the Red Queen says, hey, Alicia, before she went up in the explosion, like, changed my system so I could call off all of the Umbrella forces that were going to kill the last remaining humans. And I'm like, do you know, it would have been really nice to see, like, some of these camps of people who were, like holding back Umbrella armies or something to, like, build up the tension, you know? If that's what we're doing here, like, actually show some of these people whose lives are at stake. But we never see them, so it's just this vague idea of like, oh, there's a few thousand people out there who are almost about to be killed. It would be, now, this is not a good movie, admittedly, what I'm bringing up, but it'd be like if in like the third Matrix movie they never showed Zion fighting like all the machines attacking them. It was just like Neo talking about the fact that there's machines attacking Zion, like, oh, we have to stop it from up here, but we never see that there's actually this big struggle for fighting for their life happening. I don't know, it's the first thing that came to mind. It's a bad example because it's a shit movie, but like,
no, I think that's maybe, but I mean, that's I get what you're saying though. That's a good example.
It's the best I could think of in short notice. So yeah, but Alice, despite the fact that she drops dead with all the zombies in the immediate area, she ends up waking up because apparently it killed the T virus in her, but her regular human cells are all okay. So now she's just a regular human, but because it'll take years for the antivirus to spread around the entire planet, her work's not done, so she drives around chasing these dragon things, and she ends with saying, my name is Alice. Also, Claire survived the explosion. She got out. There you go. Red Queen's helping with stuff, I guess, somehow as well. I don't know. But
was there something too where like the Red Queen was like, oh, like, you know, you didn't get to live a life, but I can give you like the memories of like
yeah.
me as a girl, and then you can see the woman you would have been. Like it was like some like dumb thing like that. I'm like, why do we need this? Like, who cares? Like,
No,
she's
no one cares. No one gives a shit about Alice as an actual character. I would be so impressed, because anyone who actually thinks about characters deep enough to actually get invested in them on an emotional level and think about what their arc is, anyone who thinks about movies that way isn't going to like this movie, or at the very least they'll know it's complete schlock and won't think about it in the same way they do a better actual real movie. So yeah, the whole thing is like a farce. It's a, oh my god, I feel like I've just spent 40 minutes listing a bunch of random action sequences that mean nothing, because that's what it felt like watching this. And then eventually Isaac's monologues a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm evil, look at me, I'm the evil one. And he's moving around like Wesker with the quick movement and all that. Apparently Wesker couldn't do that when the door was coming down on his foot. He got caught off guard, I guess. But yeah, so Wesker got nerfed in this one, I guess. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing satisfying about this ending. I mean, the movie as a whole, and it being the last chapter, nothing about that is like satisfying. But then also just the end of the actual movie itself, like the final battles and action sequences. I mean, I guess I don't like any of the action throughout the whole movie, so it wouldn't matter that I don't like these final ones. But again, they just kind of like gloss over you. Like, I'm not like, oh man, it all led up to this. Like, here's like the big epic showdown. It's just like, all right, yeah, that's it. We're done now.
Yeah, this is definitely the one that I forgot the most of, because I couldn't have told you. I remembered like a tank thing, but that's about it. I did not remember them going back to the hive. I did not remember the old age Alice reveal with the old age makeup. I did not remember any of that shit.
Are you saying you saw this before?
Yeah, I saw this before.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't remember a goddamn thing. It is so forgettable. It's even worse than the other ones, and that is actually impressive almost. It's baffling. And even just like little things like, when Claire first shows up, she's like, oh yeah, on the Arcadia, Umbrella kidnapped me. And I'm like, okay, but what about Chris? Chris was with you on the Arcadia. We're just not going to mention him, even though that's your brother. And then also, so everyone else in the White House at the end of the last movie, did they just all die? So Leon, Ada, just all dead.
Right.
Yeah. And Jill was there as well, actually, wasn't she? Because they cured Jill before the ending. So yeah, Jill was there as well, I think.
Oh, that's right. Because they did the evil Jill thing.
Yeah. So they just all dead. They just all die off camera because none of the actors wanted to come back.
It is very funny because like you're saying, like it never feels like, oh, this character is in this movie because it fits what we're doing with the story. It's like, oh no, it's obvious, like this is the character that had some room in their schedule or needed a little bit more money, or like that they agreed to do it. Like it's just it doesn't feel like it's organic storytelling.
No, there's nothing organic about any of this. So yeah, it's so weird. It's so, because you have this weird thing where like, okay, Jill's in the second movie, the mid-credit scene of the fourth and the fifth movie. Claire's in the third, fourth, and sixth movie. Chris is only in the fourth. Leon's only in the fifth. Barry's only in the fifth. Ada's only in the fifth. The fifth's got a lot of one-timers. I mean, who else even is there to bring up, to be honest? I mean, Wesker's in like, what, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth? Yeah, Wesker might actually be the character from the games who appears the most, although it's a different actor the first time he pops up. I don't know if it's been the same one since 4, but it might be.
I mean, kudos to you for remembering all of that. Like once these movies are done, they are out of my brain. Like I have like vague recollections and like glimpses of images from some of the previous films, but like I could barely tell you anything.
I mean, talking about them in the reviews helps a little bit. I mean, I won't remember them very long, and I suspect this one especially I'm going to forget most of very quickly. Because it's actually shocking to me, because like the other movies, especially the last like 3 or 4, have been very hollow, like even more hollow than the first movie. And this one like takes it to this new level where it really is like, because like the last couple of movies, while they were pretty terrible, they at least pretended they were setting up character stuff, even if they were thin, even if the characters weren't really well handled or likable or had arcs in any real meaningful way. They at least pretended they were setting stuff up, even if it ultimately just turned into, look at Alice save everyone, or in most cases lets most people die by the end, to be honest. Whereas this movie is just like, hey, here's our group that's with Claire. Yeah, obviously we have a group, but we don't have to, let's not worry about it too. Let's just move on. We don't have to actually establish what the dynamic is here, or like set up like how these people have been surviving, or anything like that. Like, they just agree that it's time to go to the hive with Alice because she said it was, and that's it. It's like, it's a case of so many things that happen are just because, oh, the script says it happens now, not because there's anything that actually feels like it's naturally setting the next thing up. And like, you know, scripts at their core, the A to B to C to D to E and so on. This movie is just, here's A, here's D, here's G. Like, it's just, yeah, it's such a frustrating time. It's absolute gobshit, and I'm like, I'm not looking at what we rated the other ones, but I suspect I'm going to be given the lowest rating of any of these that we've done so far. I think it's absolutely horrendous, and it's not like Anderson got better and learned from the previous movies. If anything, he just got more indulgent. He just like said, oh, I don't even have to pretend to be a real filmmaker. I'll just go further into my own bullshit. And they've become more of his crap as time has went on. So, yep, cannot recommend in any way, shape, or form. All right, Tim, let's rate this Resident Evil movie once and for all.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what I've given the other movies. I mean, obviously they've all been low scores, but I mean, for this, I think I'm gonna go like bottom of the barrel. I'm just gonna give it a 1. I mean, part of it is, yes, I think it is very bad, but I'm also just like so fed up with this franchise. And yeah, there's just like nothing I like about it. I think it looks terrible. It sounds terrible. I don't like the characters. I'm just so annoyed by, like everything they've done, how, it just feels like horrible fan fiction where like the fan made character like has just taken over the whole like plot and supersedes all the other like characters, and again it doesn't capture any of the tone or atmosphere that made the games like so special.
Oh yeah, but Tim, all that's irrelevant at this point, right? That was important to bring up in the first movie, or the second movie, maybe the third movie. At this point, none of the comparisons to the games are relevant. At this point, it's just about just how horrific it actually is as a movie, how unpleasant it is to watch, how lacking in structure it is, how lacking in character it is. It's like everything else. Like the comparison to the games at this point is like a fever dream.
Sure. Yeah, and I don't know. I generally find it like hard to follow, but in a weird way, because it is just out of such like disgust and disinterest versus, like anything being like too crazy. But it doesn't even really feel like, it has any like like it doesn't feel like it puts in any effort to like like tie things together, because we're talking about examples of how like the ending of the last movie doesn't really feel like it lines up with this movie, and then they just wave off like things that happened by saying like, well, that was a clone, or like, oh yeah, they tricked you, or like stuff that if you are a fan of these series you should feel like, oh, this is cheap, like they're giving me like they're just doing what they want and then giving me these cheap reasons for it, and that's just not like a satisfying way to build your movie, to watch a movie or whatever. So it just, everything about it is bad and unpleasant, and I don't know, there's nothing redeeming about this. I'm glad it's over and we don't have to ever talk about these again, and hopefully we'll get a good Resident Evil movie soon.
Yeah, it's garbage. 1 out of 10. I mean, I've given a lot of 2s out to this franchise. You gave it a 2 last time. I think you gave a 2.5 to the one before that. So they've been kind of like dwindling down in absolute shit piles anyway. But this is really the pit of it. This is just unpleasant. It somehow is even less coherent as a script than even the previous movies were, and those were already atrocious. This is absolute bottom of the barrel stuff. So no, garbage. Final chapter is a fever dream of mediocrity and absurdity, and then it is instantly forgettable. It's like a big fat nothing. It really is. So there you go. That is our review of Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. It is done. Now, I think last week I told you that you'd be getting Love and Death at Camp Miyazama, or Love and Sex. Sex and Death? Sex and Death. Death and Sex. Whatever the movie's called. This week.
I was
Yeah. But it turned out that it wasn't out in the UK this week, which is why you're getting Resident Evil Final Chapter instead. I probably should have mentioned that at the start of the show. But we'll hopefully get to that in a couple of weeks. If we don't, it may have to wait until it's at home, just because of the release dates. And it's not even like Tim has a bunch of showings of it either. So next week, though, we should be finally getting to Exit 8, which was a movie that came out earlier this year. So we'll dive into that and see how it is. Hopefully it'll break our streak, because after Psycho Killer, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, and Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, it's been a miserable trio of weeks on Streams After Midnight. So hopefully we're going to break that next week with Exit 8. Come on. You can do it. You can do it, weird subway movie. You can do it. So that is us. You can support the show over at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. Get access to the Even More Stream segments, which we have most weeks, doing various different things. Next one should be about a bunch of trailers that came out recently. We chat about a few of those, so have a look at that. Back catalogue of bonus episodes, amongst other things. So go have a look-see, and thanks to everyone who already does support us on Patreon or via YouTube membership. It really does make a difference. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We do appreciate it. Keep watching scary movies, and we will see you next time.